Oh, and now all of a sudden we're streaming. I close it once, and now we're back. So, hello and welcome to the Wise Guys. God's sakes. All right. Well, we are technically live now, so I will be. Oh, you shooting me? I'm not. All right, good. I was like, you can tell me I'm not even gonna be able to watch this on my phone. All right. Let's get this show where it needs to go on the road.
I think that was our best intro.
What? Oh, hello. I'm not gonna lie. I think that should be our new intro. I'd like to update.
Yes, we're live.
Yeah, I'd like to update our song too.
Yeah,
I feel like we could
that.
use it.
We could do like an actual song
We could pick a song.
instead of just a beat.
We have to. Yeah, we could do that. Oh, I'm gonna tweet it too, and then I'm good.
It's up on Instagram.
Sweet. All right. Let's give the people what they want now. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see. Did the Celtics lose? Let me just see that real quick. Never mind. It's going to take 5 years to load, so there's no point in doing that. All right.
I'll check for you.
Thanks.
Yes, they lost.
Great. Love to see it. All right. Let's get ready. 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Wise Guys podcast. I'm your host, Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by my co-host, Chris Hagan.
How you guys doing?
So, Chris, it was an eventful weekend, the Oscars and all that. And, normally we like to talk about sports and, stuff like that. But Will Smith walked up on stage and open palm smacked Chris Rock across the face.
I don't think he did.
You think it's fake?
I don't know. I've watched it so many times, and I've gone back and forth on it. I just can't bring myself to believe that actually happened. Maybe that's just me, like, in denial, but the fact that he wasn't, like, escorted out of the building after doing that, like,
And
isn't
then he
that
won
assault?
best actor, like,
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's some weird angles to it. I would understand why they would fake something like this. It's a perfect fake. I mean, a perfect thing to do if you're gonna fake something because no one cares about the Oscars. Not recently, like no one has cared about their Oscars. So you get something like this to happen. You get everyone to talk about it, which everyone and their moms have been talking about it since Sunday, and you get Twitter to explode. So it's a win by the Oscars, and I guess I would see why it'd be fake, but it just looked too real of a slap for it to be fake.
It did.
Right?
Yeah.
Like
I don't know, but
props to Chris Rock because he tanked that slap. He absolutely
that's
tanked it.
if it's real, the most surprising part of it is that he just eats the slap and pops right back up.
And with a smile and like
laughs.
yeah,
He's like, "Ah,
yeah.
Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me."
So maybe that could be more evidence of why it could possibly be fake. I just don't see how they could the scum and villainy of Hollywood really stoop this low?
I don't know, because it's such like a weird thing to fake, like especially with
Right?
all the storylines with Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. to have him just walk up and smack him and then walk away.
What
It
I thought
seems
was
like too ridiculous to even be thought up in the head.
yeah, you couldn't write this, and
Mhm.
now that I'm thinking, I was coming in like ready to talk about just it being real, but now that we're questioning it, why so Will Smith just happened to be right in the front row as well.
I mean, he was a nominee for Best Actor.
Oh,
That's probably where they stick those guys,
that's
right?
probably true. Yeah, and he was also the favorite, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, and let's talk about his Best Actor award speech. He comes up on stage and basically, instead of apologizing, he was just like, family, makes you do crazy things. And we're all just looking at him like, you just assaulted Chris Rock 5 minutes ago. And now he's out there holding the trophy. It should have been the best day of his life. It's such a weird scenario. And more things to make it seem like it's fake is that Chris Rock has said nothing. Will Smith apologized.
On Instagram,
Yeah, and Jada Pinkett Smith said nothing either. She said something about on Instagram, her Instagram story said something about healing and she's for the process or whatever. It's I don't think
what does that mean?
I don't think it has
I don't
anything.
think that applies in this
I don't think
scenario.
it does. I don't think it does. So the fact that that could all allude to it being fake. Now I'm kind of convinced. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, and also the way that he stood there, he literally stood there with his hands behind his back and his head was poking out almost, come hit me.
Well,
And unless that was just Chris Rock being Chris Rock, which it would have been, it seemed like he would at least move a little bit when Will Smith came up to him.
Well,
you can see in somebody's eyes when they're about to assault you.
when they're about to assault you. That is true. The thing that I was thinking was, if Chris Rock's standing there with his hands on his back, I'm guessing he just thought, I don't know, maybe Will Smith would grab the mic and roast him, be like,
that would be very reasonable.
Yeah, it'd be a reasonable thing. So that would be, I guess, why he just stood there and let it happen. But I also don't think, I'm sure, I don't know what Chris Rock and Will Smith's relationship is like, but I'm sure he didn't think, Chris Rock's coming up here to go beat my ass. So.
No, I don't. There's no way that thought entered his head until the last second when he got up there and got in his face. But it was also let's pretend it's real. Or I guess I'm pretending it's real. That was such a cheap shot.
Yeah, it was a cheap shot. And in front of national
just
television
slap him
too.
And walk away.
So, did you hear? First of all, let's talk about the comments. Disappointed by Mr. John Hare, the wise guy himself who won our fantasy football league, that named #1 wise guys fan. But
it should have
he said. Let
Will
me read
Smith
first.
should not have just turned around and walked away.
So what the comment
smack somebody.
What the comment said was disappointed that there's no fight ensued, and could you imagine? I'm sure that's what everyone in the audience must have thought. Hell, they're gonna go beat each other's ass. But did you hear? So, did you hear about the Scientology possible connection to this?
No.
So apparently, Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith have there's been rumors that they might be in Scientologist, and apparently one of the rules of Scientology is if anyone disrespects you or your family, you slap them in the face. I swear to God. You call them out, you slap them in the face.
That's too good to be true.
Right? It's a perfect add-on. It's So I wonder if he's sitting there, he's my wife's pretty pissed about that joke. You know what Scientology told me to do? The little minion inside me, or whatever the hell they believe in. That I'm gonna go up and slap Chris Rock in the face. And talk about cheap shots, it wasn't even that good of a joke.
That's the other thing that I was thinking of. It's alopecia. It's not cancer.
Look,
she's not terminally ill.
We had a friend in high school that got way worse than what Chris Rock said. And if I said anything close to that and he walked up and slapped me in the face, I mean, if I said that, I'd be a little I'd probably fight. But some of the things I've said to the kid, he'd slap me in the face and I'd be all right, that's fine. I was making a bad joke about it. But that, and he dealt with that. I'm sure these people who have alopecia. I've been dealing this with for years. It's not like, and she looks good. It's not like she's like brittle, and it's not like she's bald because she's dying of cancer or anything. It's like
Right.
she looks good. She's dressed up. She's not wearing a wig on purpose. So, like, how mad could you possibly
Cheats
be?
on him. Well, I
Yeah,
guess not cheats on him, but
No.
she openly sleeps with other men more than he openly sleeps with other women.
Yes. And then
And
brings him on a
everyone knows
podcast.
it.
Yes, and brings him on a podcast and tells him about it. No,
That's the part that like makes me think that it might be real, just because there's like everyone has a breaking point, and maybe him just sitting there, being like, you know what, I'm done with it.
do you think he's like, I'm not
someone's
taking
got
it
to get
again.
assaulted.
Yeah, I'm not taking it
I
again.
can't deal with it.
I can't deal with the
before we
memes.
start joking about my wife again, I'm just gonna put an end to it. Right now. So that's part of me. It's like maybe it is real. And the way he said it too afterwards, when he said, "Keep my wife's name out of your mouth," that looked real. And he is an actor, so
That was the
then,
other thing.
like,
I
they
feel
can
like
make stuff look real, but that, yeah.
it's funny because I feel like if they tried to act this, it would low key be worse.
Mhm.
Like they'd probably try to put on a performance for this, so it did seem very natural. I will give him that. But like this was supposed to be his night. He was supposed to win. Like I mean, he did win Best Actor, but and now only thing anyone could talk about
cares
is
about that?
Yeah, no one gives a crap about that. This is so a couple years ago. Didn't they like give the best movie to someone else that didn't actually deserve it? It was like Moon Knight and La La Land or something.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, well, the only reason why I
I
brought that up.
literally have not followed the Oscars ever.
Yeah, until now. I mean,
Now I might.
yeah. So, I think to wrap this up, because let's not spend the whole podcast on this, but I think Chris Rock deserves a proper apology,
Mhm.
and I think just leave Jada Smith alone. Poor Will has clearly had enough. He's clearly had enough.
Yeah.
I gotta admit though, the memes are great.
Yes. It was one of those nights where it was like
Everyone
really
was on Twitter.
fun to be on Twitter,
Yeah.
and everyone was like on the same page, just firing away until like I saw somebody said like the first 10, 15, or actually no, I think it was like the first hour after an event like this, like Twitter is the most fun place to be on, and then for like the week afterwards, it's the worst.
Yep.
People just beat the dead horse.
Yep.
So
And
that's where we're at right now, but it's worth it for that little stretch where everyone is just like the creative juices are flowing and taking advantage of the moment.
No, and
It's a great time to be on social media.
Once I woke up like yesterday though, and I was like still seeing like some photoshopped of someone slapping someone else, and it was the same picture. I was like, all right, like I've seen enough of these. Like, I get it. But go ahead.
My final take on it, as I think about it and as we've discussed, I think that they have to be Scientologists.
I think it's the only reasonable explanation.
Because the way that he reacted initially, he like kind of cracked a smile.
Mhm.
And then she was sitting there like,
Yeah.
And then he got up. So it's like, okay, first of all, he's like, oh, not a big deal. And then he was like, oh, but she didn't like it. That wouldn't make you go slap somebody.
No,
It
but
only
if
make you go slap somebody if it made you mad like right away.
yeah, and now if the little Martian inside of you is telling you to go up and slap Chris Rock because
you're
your family's
doing it.
disrespected, yeah, you're doing it. So I think they are Scientologists. I think we confirmed it on this podcast.
Back to the old conspiracy chair.
Yes, the old conspiracy chair. We never got in.
Old fashioned segment.
That if you remember the conspiracy chair, props to you. Like really, I doubt that's anyone here, but props to you. Anyways, so let's get in. NFL has made a big new rule change about their overtime rules, and it's stupid and pointless. And they should hand out a participation trophy to the guy who loses anyways.
Why are they so stubborn? Just go to the college rule.
Either go or just change it at all. What they did is they made it so now instead of you score a touchdown, the overtime's over. Instead, if you score a touchdown, the other team can then go score a touchdown. But then you can just go score a field goal just like the first time and win. It's more advantage to the guy who wins the coin flip. Because then all you got to do is, all right, score. Don't even have to play defense. then go kick a field goal.
Yeah, I don't get it because literally we're going to be having the same exact discussion where it's like if it's a game like the Bills Chiefs, which seems like the reason why a rule was pushed for because that was such an awesome game and Josh Allen didn't touch the ball. How does that game change at all?
I was just about to say, let me
run
you through it. Yeah.
Josh Allen and the Bills go right down and score. And then it's like, but now Mahomes has the ball and the Bills can't answer.
Yes.
So like they're still going to lose.
No, and if that's the argument, if two playoff teams are like, yo, you don't like, I get it. Like now I guess there was never ties in playoffs anyways, but this like, I guess tries to eliminate the ties, but there's no ties in the playoffs anyways. And it's not even in the regular season and it just doesn't add up. It's literally the same rule, just with an extra, it's with an extra drive.
It's marginally better just because it forces both teams to at least play some defense. But I still think it's very far from what it needs to be. And, like, college overtime, it might not be perfect, but no team has a clear advantage. The only advantage you get in college is going second, because then you know how many points you need to get. And that's, like, a pretty slim. It's important, but it's nothing compared to, like, getting 2 drives to score instead of 1, which is what it is now.
Yeah, and, like, you drive down the field, you score, you give the other team the ball, and if it's a high-powered offense versus a high-powered offense, all you need is one stop, just like the original, overtime rules. It's just one stop. That's all you need on defense. So they changed nothing. I don't get it.
It's like when they changed the pass interference rule, and then like they didn't even apply it.
Yeah, and they were like, "Oh, sorry, you can't do that anymore."
Changes are doing nothing. So I don't know. I think it's just them being stubborn, wanting to be like, "Oh, we can come up with our own overtime." Okay, then come up with a real new overtime. Don't just like add on to what you have now.
Look,
and like not actually change anything.
I will fix it right now, even with the stuff they just gave. I mean, actually, maybe not with the stuff they just gave us, but all you gotta do is, if you drive down, you score, you can't kick an extra point. You just gotta keep going for 2, and then if that's how you want to play it, make them do it all game long. See if I give a shit. Like, just I don't know the fact that now a field goal can just win in overtime even if both teams score a touchdown. So what's the point?
There's no reason to not do it like innings where every team gets a shot. You should always have a chance to respond. And I get the argument. It's like, well, defense is part of the game too. You have to play defense. But at the same time, like if the other team doesn't have to play defense, then it's not really fair. Or they have to play less in this case, I guess.
Well, and this is just like
drive.
Yeah, it's just one fewer drive where you have to make a stop. And I don't know, I didn't hate the original overtime rules because we've seen it like this is also
Chiefs that year.
Well, all right, and the Falcons in Super Bowl, but whatever.
Just those 2 huge playoffs.
That's not even what I was about to say. That's not even what I was about to say. So yes, the overtime rule did directly lead to 2 Super Bowls for the Patriots. But anyways, and also let's rewind those games too. Let's say the Falcons go ahead, fine, we score, kick the extra point, they go ahead and score, kick the extra point, just kick a fucking field goal, we'll win the game.
Yeah.
And then same thing with the Chiefs one. But anyways, the reason why I wasn't like such a hater of the other overtime rules was it's possible to just make a stop, and we've seen it happen before. In
the very next game, the Bengals didn't win the coin toss. We're like, here we go again, and then they got to stop.
And so in the very next game of that one, talk about the Chiefs, Rams, same one. It's the same season. The Patriots scored right away when they got the overtime. The Rams didn't win the coin toss. You know what? They still made it to the Super Bowl because they stopped Drew Brees and the Saints. It's not that unfair of an advantage. So for everyone to just be whining about it year in and year, and now I don't want to hear any of it. If I hear one peep out of Josh Allen and his baby mouth, I'm gonna be pissed because now they're just give him a participation trophy at this point because
Yeah.
Clearly, everyone needs a fair shot. So go ahead, Josh Allen. I can't wait to see you lose in overtime to the Chiefs again.
I mean, I don't agree with that. I think that there is a better way to do it. And
Well, no, I think of course there's a better way to do it. I just didn't think it was
I
that
agree
bad.
that the complaints are unnecessary and really overdone. It's every season too, where it's literally like the same people are just like, oh, we had to watch this game, this great game, and then they don't touch the ball. It's like, yeah, shut up. Seen it before. You don't have to complain about it every single year. So maybe that won't change though. Like,
No, it's
the arguments, literally the arguments don't change whatsoever.
all it does is extend it. It just all it does is extend play and allows players to get injured more on that last drive. If you're really thinking about it, and I don't know, maybe this will fix it. Like, hey, I would love to be wrong, and this will fix everything. Like, maybe the defense somehow gets stronger on their second drive, and they finally stop them. But I hope this fixes everything because I don't want to hear about it anymore. But
yeah, neither do
I also don't want to talk about it anymore. So I'm going to move on to another NFL rule that got added in at the end of last year with the helmets. The helmets can now be different colors and different stuff. Well, the Eagles and the Buccaneers announced that they are going to be wearing their cool uniforms that everyone loves next year.
Next year.
The season hasn't even started yet. We don't even have training camp yet. What is the goddamn issue if we want these jerseys now?
I don't. Wait, so is it approved this year?
Yeah, it's approved this year. At least what I've heard from last.
Why weren't they ready to go the second that the rule changed? Because for years these teams just bitch about how they can't wear. It's like the Pats. They're like, why can't we wear our cool throwback helmets? The Bucs, the Eagles, they all have cool old helmets. When the rule changes, you should have, and it's not like you have to design a new helmet.
It's already there. Just put the sticker on.
The logo. Yeah. And order the helmets.
Well, and what I don't understand is
I don't know either. That makes no sense to me.
What I don't understand is, like, it's not like we're halfway through the season and they change this. I would understand, like, oh, you can't.
March.
It is March. The draft hasn't even happened yet. And we're worried about 2023.
The uniform.
Yes. Not even talking the throwback. The normal uniform. No one's even made the normal uniform yet. The NFL, this league makes no sense to me. The rules and the way the teams operate, they just are stupid, and I just don't.
We definitely have a couple episodes like every year where annually the NFL will make rule changes, and we'll sit here and be like, "What is the point of this rule change? Like, where are we going with this?"
It's every year. Well,
like, the schedule? We talked about the schedule, like adding the game, the playoffs, adding a team, helmets, the pass interference,
and the helmets, and the uniforms. I feel like we talked about last year. Like, why is this now taking another year?
They announced the rule in the summer, right?
Yeah, and we were like,
next season, you guys can do this.
Oh my god. This is so
And now it's that season, and they're like, and then next season we'll actually do it.
I don't even know what to say. Like, I guess they're doing it next year. I hope, like, it's going to come out, like, the start of 2023 season. They're like, 2024, the Green Kelly Eagles are coming back. And the Orange Bucks.
Every year.
It's like, Jesus. So, speaking of the Buccaneers, Bruce Arians, the former Buccaneers coach, has officially retired and become the GM of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So Brady got him fired, right?
I was about to say, this has Brady's handprints.
Oh, his Cheeto fingerprints are all over it. He left some dust over
his grubby little mitts.
Yeah, his mitts are all over it. He's just because, like...
there's no, like, obviously that's why. If Arians wanted to not coach this team, he would have decided that after Brady retired in the first place, because he would have been like, oh, look at that, my team's a lot worse. Now might be the time. That might be a sign for me to hang him up.
Yeah,
it's not when he comes back and then 2 weeks later he's like, damn, it's getting
Yeah,
I'm
it's
a
not
little
like
tired of this. Let me
it's
go
not like
be
he's
the
sitting there.
GM instead.
It's not like he's sitting there as he's looking at Kyle Trask and is like, oh, I gotta get out of here before this kid has to play. He comes like, yeah, you're right. It's like Brady comes in, he comes back, and Arians like, what's up, my guy? And he out.
He's like, yeah. So I've already talked to the owner.
Yeah, you're booted. You're out of here.
You're out of here.
I think this just I think this proves the Jimmy Garoppolo stuff to be real.
You think?
It has to be. I now guarantee Brady went to Kraft and said you got to get rid of Garoppolo.
Yeah.
He runs the league, man. He does what he wants to do. I'm surprised he's not on the 49ers right now. I'm shocked that he didn't force his way out of Tampa somehow. And I mean, I guess Bruce stayed.
Still could.
He still could be. Yeah, that's true. Apparently he's still recruiting people to Tampa though, so I guess he's committed.
I'm sure he is.
I'm also surprised OBJ is just and I'm surprised OBJ and Julio are not just sitting on their bench right now, waiting to play. Yeah, Julio is the perfect Buccaneer. He'll show up every 3 games. We'll be like, oh my God, Julio Jones, and then that'll be it.
I'm still like half expecting Antonio Brown to come back and play for them.
I can't. So I have a speech.
Would that be the most surprising thing to happen?
Oh, if he plays with the Bucs, I think that'd be pretty damn shocking. After well, think about it. Now they have a new coach. Maybe
Arians is gone.
Arians is gone. So wait,
That's probably why he did it. The owner probably said, "Who do you want, AB or Bruce Arians?" And he said, "AB."
But yeah, he's taking a front office position, right? He's still with the Bucs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, I guess it doesn't matter though. I mean, he's not the GM, so it'll be like.
Well, yeah, you know who the GM of that team is.
Yeah, it's true. He's
Tom
sitting
Brady.
there with number 12 in his chest. Yeah, you're right. So maybe that's what it was. I need my boy. I don't think so though. After AB slandered his name and stuff like that, there's no way. And
no, it's more of just him being sick of Arians telling him what to do.
No, and also throwing him under the bus every time they lose. He's like, I need Todd. He needs a puppet. He's like, all right, I need Todd Bowles to be my puppet, and that's exactly what it's gonna be. He'll be like, Todd, you run the defense. I'll just take care of everything else.
Don't speak to me when I'm on the field.
If I'm on the field,
I'll have you gone too. And I'll bring in Ben McAdoo to coach this team.
Yeah, if that's what you really want.
Perfect coach.
Yeah, I'm sure his Brady is becoming just evolving into this. He's becoming like this Hollywood figure now.
Mm-hmm.
Like now he's getting his coaches fired. He's getting shit done. He's retiring, unretiring. He
turns into like more and more of a LeBron. Every day.
And it's funny, he went about 18 years in New England without a peep. You didn't hear anything from him. And now he is just flying off the rails.
He's lashing out.
He is lashing out.
He's the kid who grew up with strict parents, and then as soon as he went to college, went off the rails.
Yep.
Down in Tampa Bay, anything flies.
I didn't like Bruce Arians, so good for Brady for sticking up and getting him ousted.
Why? Because he was mean to your boy?
A little bit. Nah, I don't know. I just didn't like his stupid face. He's got a dumb face. And it's always like completely red from the sunburn. Like he just
red.
Ugh. I'm not a big fan. Anyways,
I have no opinion on him.
It's all right. So,
and I don't think it changes anything really.
No, I don't think it changes anything at all. I think this is. I mean, I still think they're probably gonna win the NFC or compete for the NFC because
that would be insane if they won a Super Bowl.
It's getting more likely.
But not that surprising.
It's getting more likely.
It would be an insane story, but when you actually look at the teams that they have to face to get there, it would not be surprising at all.
Also, but while we're talking about the NFL right now, is Jimmy G just gonna stay?
Yes.
Like, where else is he gonna go?
I don't know why they don't just play with him another season.
I don't know. They keep winning games.
Exactly. As much as I give him crap for it,
hey, he keeps winning games.
Can't argue with the wins.
Also, Trae Young's like an infant. Might as well keep him getting reps, you know?
Yeah, guess so. I mean, you gotta be sure he's your guy, before you trade him.
Well, and the thing is,
Trey Lance.
Yeah.
With the Hawks.
with what'd you say?
I said Trae Young's on the Hawks.
Oh yeah. No, Trey Lance. If he is like maybe if I was the coaches and the GMs, I'd be like Kyle Shanahan. This kid better be it. We traded 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
Didn't take Mac Jones, and we have Jimmy Garoppolo. And if we get rid of him, we're gonna look like fools if this kid sucks. So honestly, to probably save their jobs, they're keeping Jimmy around.
I was about to say it's a fireable offense.
Oh, it definitely is.
Guy to trade away to and then have him suck. You're gone.
If I'm Shanahan, I just keep trying to win with Jimmy because it keeps working.
Yeah.
And I keep getting it done. So that's what I would try to do.
And when you have Jimmy Garoppolo as your head coach and you win, everyone thinks you're a genius.
Yeah, because it's everyone. Like, man, they won with Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah.
You're like, wow, Garoppolo's not that good, but Kyle Shanahan is the best coach on the face of the earth.
See what he did with Jimmy? Yeah. I don't know. There's not even a landing spot for him anymore. Wait, like him and Baker are just, I guess, gonna be staying.
Yeah, Baker really just doesn't have any suitors at all.
I want to see him go to the Seahawks.
I guess, yeah, but like, there's no reason for them to give up anything to even try with Baker.
Yeah, I'm aware. So, as we get closer to the draft, I've been seeing mock drafts of your Commanders taking wide receivers. Is that what you want?
I'm okay with that. Drafting a receiver early is always exciting, and the last time we did it was Josh Dotson. So it's been a while. And before that, I don't even know who
Josh Dotson. I totally
the first round receiver was. Yeah. So I'm all for it.
Hey, you got to anything to get Wentz some weapons, you know.
At this point, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, he's already your quarterback.
Wentz.
Yeah,
you've accepted that he's your guy. You got to put the guys around him. Give him the best chance possible.
I would like that for you guys.
It's not like I'm rooting for him to fail.
No, you can't now.
So that I'm right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna root for him.
What about like offensive line or anything? You guys lost Sheriff. Is that still good or no?
Of Sheriff and Eric Flowers.
Where did Eric go?
Flowers we just cut.
Oh yeah, you guys just cut.
Save cap space. I don't know about our offensive line. It was solid. It was nothing great last year, but it was solid enough. Like it was probably top 10 in the league. Lost their 2 starting guards though, so we'll see if that affects anything. It probably will, would be my guess. But I guess that's not as pressing of a need when you have a guy like Carson Wentz who's so incredible at not taking sacks, right?
I was gonna say maybe what you got to do is, you know, he's so used to the Eagles' offensive line, and then that collapsed slowly. So maybe that's why, you know, he was standing in the pockets the whole time. So now if he's ready and he knows the offensive line's going to be bad, maybe that's when he'll start moving around. And
I've seen him move before.
Oh, he's done it.
It's not like he's been a sitting duck his whole career. Like, I've watched him, like, his MVP year. That's what, every time I am positive about Wentz, it's like, oh, well, the year you should have won MVP or could have won MVP.
That's all that matters.
This is what he looked like.
It's all you got to
like
look at.
4 years ago.
That's all you got to look at.
Like when the Wizards got Westbrook. And I was like, yeah, but remember this season when he won the MVP?
You know what's funny is now the Lakers are like, remember when Westbrook was on the Wizards and he took him to the play-in? Like, that's what they're hoping for. That's what they're hoping for now. So that's a perfect transition.
Is sad. That's a sad comparison.
Let's skip out on March for a minute and talk about some NBA because I'll just do it real quick. The NBA, if you're not watching the NBA right now and you like basketball, you're missing out because there is a lot of great teams coming. There's been a lot of good playoff races, and in the playoffs, especially in the East, there's going to be some heated rivalries coming up.
Mm-hmm. With
the Nets, the Sixers, Celtics, Heat, I mean, any one of them, you could say that there's bad blood between them. And the funny thing, when they're coming in the playoffs, I think the 76ers regret trading for James Harden. That's why. Because he kind of sucks. And just like the James Harden that you always know, that the James Harden we've seen his whole career, every big game, he disappears. Last night against the Bucks, they lost by 1 point. I think James Harden ended with. Let me confirm, but I could look like a fool right now, but I'm pretty sure he didn't do very well. But anyways, they have been on a slump. He beats the crap out of good teams, and I guess he did have 32. But he's also like against good teams. He's a defensive liability. The teams are literally gunning after him to go after him on offense. And I'm not scared, actually, but if I'm a 76ers fan, I'm scared that this team is going to get bounced by a really good team in the playoffs.
Well, I mean, like, his whole career has been like that.
Yeah, and
It's
now
like,
I think
the whole regular season, he's unstoppable. And then when the playoffs come around and you have to play defense and guys tighten up a little bit, his style of play just doesn't translate.
But it's
and we
funny.
talked about that when the trade was made. It was like, well, does it increase their chance to the finals? Yes. But
is there a bunch of red flags?
Never won before.
Yeah.
So, and neither is Embiid.
The Sixers, I feel joy from this because of how much the Sixers were like pumping their chest, get ready for the fear of the beard, and I think like when you look at it, Seth Curry and Andre Drummond are balling on the Nets. They are very important to the Nets' success, and I feel like they'd be very important to the Sixers' success. They were doing well. Seth and Embiid had a great relationship. And now Fatso comes in and wants to score every time and doesn't play any defense. They might be they might be regretting their decision already. Especially now they have to play what's his name too? DeAndre Jordan. Like now they have to play DeAndre Jordan, who is nothing. James Harden, who will disappear. And you're dependent a lot on Matisse Thybulle, who can't play offense. So I'm glad this team is flawed, and I hope they get bounced out of the first round.
I mean, it's only like it still has not been that many games. That's the thing.
I'm aware.
The sample size is not that large.
Yes.
And even if they do get bounced in the playoffs, like they have more years with him, where it could work.
Yeah, and they have to sign him to this massive extension that's going to hold their whole team hostage, and it's going to be the same result every year. It's going to be awesome to watch. I can't wait for the plummet. And like I'm looking at it right now. Every single big game they've played with Harden, they have lost. They lost to the Nuggets, the Nets. I guess they beat the Mavericks. They lost to the freaking Raptors. Barely beat the Lakers. Lost to the Suns, the Bucks. Those are just the past 2 games they played. So
the Heat
too. They beat the Heat. Good for them. I'm kind of bullish, even though the Heat just beat my team today. I'm kind of bullish on the Heat a little bit. But if you look at all these games, it's how'd they win that game? Holy crap! Look at the box score for the Heat game. Look, they're playing with like the best player on the team that was playing was Tobias Harris. That's weird. I don't know. It's the NBA. There's weird games like that.
Actually, 28.
Yeah. Good for Maxey. Maxey is that I would have rather rode with Maxey than have Harden. Yeah, I think Maxey's a good point guard, and the pieces around him, I just felt like the team fit better. So that's the main thing I got to say for the NBA. I don't want this to run too long. I'm ready to go to March. You ready?
I'm always ready for March.
I knew it. So
one more day.
Sadly, only one more day. I mean, we do sleep in May though, so
yeah. I had a professor the other day. I tweeted this out, and I think she was talking about the weather or something. But she was like, "Well, this is March," and I was like, "Yes, it is March."
You're right.
Got it.
You're right. It is March.
I should have just been like, "We sleep in May." I'm like, "What?" I'm so confused. Anyway,
St. Peter's, the sad run, it went to an end. Did we talk about?
Can I defend myself real quick about the whole Purdue thing? Because I met nobody that was also rooting for Purdue in that game where St. Peter's beat them.
Yeah, you look
That's
at the show.
That's why I wanted Purdue to win.
It's funny. I'm watching
because I knew that they were going to get blown out at some point, and I figured that it would be against Purdue. But like, it just can't sustain that kind of run with the talent that they have. And I'm not like, I enjoyed it. It was awesome to watch. The Purdue game was a great game, but like we knew it was coming at some point. If they beat Carolina, it would have been like, oh, they made the Final Four. That's
Yeah, nobody
incredible.
got
It's like
murdered
the
by
best
Duke.
Cinderella run of all time. Duke would have beaten them by 1,000.
Yeah, you're right.
So
And
that's why I say at this point in the tournament, at that point it was going into the Elite Eight. I just want to see the best matchups.
and
Upsets early, matchups later.
and what you had was exactly what you. I mean, honestly, what you predicted, which was an ass whooping in the next round by UCLA, or no, sorry, UNC, and that game you could tell the magic just wore off. They couldn't hit a bucket,
It was immediate.
Yeah,
I think they got down like 9-0. And we're like, oh no, here we go.
Yeah, because they couldn't hit a shot to save their lives.
Yeah.
It was sad to see them go. It was such a great run by them, and congrats to the coach who just signed today with Seton Hall.
Mm-hmm.
So New Jersey staying in New Jersey, so that's cool, right? Seton Hall's. Oh, are they Pencil? Are they?
No, they're New Jersey, and
Yeah,
he was the point guard in the early 2000s when they
I
made
did see that.
the biggest tournament run that they've had. I think it was the Elite Eight they made it to.
That's
He was the
pretty cool.
point guard of that team. So like, college fans are always just like foaming at the mouth to bring back like old players.
Yeah.
Like Michigan and Juwan Howard.
Oh, always.
But
They have to have that.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Hopefully it works for them. I like Seton Hall.
I like Seton Hall, and I like the St. Peter's team. So I hope it stays together. Now we have one of the most historic college basketball games, and it hasn't even tipped off yet, ever, to play.
I think this is possibly the biggest college basketball or Final Four game of all time. Just given the circumstances, and I know like this is a Wednesday, so we're already beating the dead horse at this point because it's all I hear anyone talking about. But Coach K in his final year, going up against the arch rival, they've never played in the tournament before.
They have to lose.
I am praying to the gods, to every god that exists. Please let North Carolina beat Coach K. I cannot deal with it. I'm so sick of watching him. Like before every game, and they always get the late game, which means there's clips of him and his wife like holding hands in the hallway walking out. And then it's like before the game, it's like, where is he? Where is he? There's Coach K. And then they'll show him on the sidelines, like in the middle of the game. Like, Duke
I'm trying to watch you, man.
Just flash to Coach K. And I'm like, they're pressing right now. Like, show the game. I want to see it. It's so annoying. I can't stand it. And I hate him so much.
The worst part is that it's not even like it's been all year. And especially in this tournament, it would be like the other side of the brackets, two random teams. They'd be playing it and they'd be like, oh, there's Coach K. Well, there's Coach. It's his final year, by the way.
Where is he?
It's his final year. Yeah, no, they'd be like, I don't know, let's say Greenville, South Carolina. They'd be playing the Miami USC game. And then they'd be like, oh, there's Coach K in Chicago, wherever the hell they played. And they're like, there he is, warming up. It's like, come on, bro. He's got to be the worst person ever, right? And
I mean, like,
the fact...
I get how much he's done for college basketball. I understand that he's the greatest coach of all time, but I just don't like him at all, and I hope he fails so badly.
And if you're not like a Duke fan and you're rooting for him to win this championship, like you're just wrong. You're just wrong.
I mean, that's like someone that roots for the Cowboys.
Yeah, it's like someone.
It's basically the same deal.
Yes, it is basically the same deal, or the Yankees or whatever.
Yankees, yep.
And it's funny because you look at the stands and the Duke and Yankees fan, and it's a Duke and Cowboys fan. So I don't know. I hope, because I'm all about like the history of shit. Like this is really cool for me that this is the first time they're ever facing each other in the tournament, and it's the Final Four. I almost wish it was the national championship game.
Oh, that would be too much.
UNC,
I think that would be too much to
I
handle.
think everyone would just have a heart attack. Everyone, especially everyone in North Carolina, they just have a heart attack.
The state would burn down.
The state would
one way or another.
Yeah.
Actually, probably before the game, it would just collapse. Government would fall. It'd be total anarchy. But I don't like. If I was a fan of either of these teams, I would not be able to think about anything else ever.
This whole week.
Like this whole week, I would just be constantly reading every article I can find about why my team's gonna win.
Yep. Or like, we gotta check. Like, did anyone in Duke's practice get hurt today? Like yeah, I'd be all over the place. It's like leading up to the Super Bowl.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I mean the closest that I can think of is if like, because Maryland doesn't even have a rival. Like Maryland's biggest rival in basketball was Duke. Now they're not even in the same conference, so it's they don't even have that big of a rival. So the closest thing to me would be if like the Redskins play the Cowboys in the NFC Championship.
yeah, that would be equivalent to this.
They have played in the playoffs before, like
Not-
in NFC Championships,
They have.
but I guess not in my lifetime.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's fair. So
But yeah, and I couldn't. I don't think I could mentally handle that.
I want it to be North Carolina who does it too. I wouldn't like it would just be so sweet, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be.
To-
And I don't even like North Carolina.
I don't mind them. But I mean,
Really? I guess it's a different state. It's not
Yeah.
their rivalry.
no, not we don't like we barely ever play each other, so that's
Yeah.
that's why it doesn't matter. But let's look at the other side real quick. It's what was it? It's Kansas and who else again? Arizona, right?
Villanova.
No, Villanova. Yeah. Sorry.
Villanova is so hard to watch
Just the team in general.
because like they just don't make shots, and it's so frustrating because they win games because they're like the worst shooting team that I've ever seen go to the Final Four, but they don't miss free throws. Like they're the best free throw shooting team of all time, but they don't hit jump shots.
Oh, I'm looking at the games that they've been playing.
It's horrible.
This and like even the Houston game, they're just really good at defense and can't score on offense.
Yeah, they're fundamentally sound. They don't really turn the ball over much. It's like the Virginia teams that a couple of years ago that were going to won the national championship. Like, they just slow you down on offense, play good defense. They don't turn it over. But boy, does it make for a boring game. And Kansas will not let them do that.
No, Kansas is too high powered of an offense to try to do that, and they won't. They're gonna have to score this game if they want to be in it. I honestly think the Kansas is gonna be. I think that might be the national championship. If I'm gonna,
I hope so. As long as it's not Duke.
Because I think they can match up against the only thing. Every time I think about that, it's like, man, this Duke's team is just so deep. The Duke
I know
team
it is.
so
And they
good.
have like every starter on their team is an NBA player.
Oh, they're all gonna go.
And
In the
two
first
of them are
round.
top 10 picks.
Yeah, they're all gonna go in the first round. So it's not even fair. Like,
And
when
the,
you look
the other
at
thing
it,
that they'll do is they'll go on stretches at the end of the game where they literally don't miss. They did it against Syracuse in the ACC tournament, and then they did it again against Texas Tech, where like it was a tie game with a couple minutes left, and then they hit every single bucket the rest of the game, and then they win by 8.
it really is like it's not fair. Like we talk about, they have 5 NBA players on their team, and they're all.
Well, and every other like big dog has gotten knocked out. Other than like Gonzaga's done, they should have played them.
Yeah, they've been
like, just
skipping all these
talent-wise.
teams. Yeah, they've been skipping all these teams.
Purdue,
that
I
play
think,
well.
had close to as equal talent as they did. They got bounced. I'm trying to think of.
And
who
the other
else.
thing, while you're thinking, the other thing of Purdue and Gonzaga getting kicked out is, dude, that's size. That is size that matches up well with Duke, and could have helped out Duke a lot, or not helped out Duke a lot, helped out the other teams in beating Duke, and they thankfully got to skip both of them. So, hey man, that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes, you know.
That's how the cookie crumbles. And Carolina's got some men on that team.
They do. There's some dogs too.
And they're one of those teams where like tournament and really any playoffs is all about getting hot at the right time. And this was a team that struggled all year until the end of the season. And then they picked it up. They were like a bubble team for the tourney. Then the last couple of games, they kind of like cemented their spot. And now they're one of the best 4 teams in the country. So Duke has caught them at the wrong moment.
And
I will say that.
I mean, they did it March. They did it earlier this month. They did it 25 days ago. They can do it again.
What a game that was.
They booted Coach K right out of the ACC tournament. They can do it right out of the NCAA tournament. What they really need is, say, like, you know Paolo's gonna score. Just be like, look, you beat, like, Paolo, whatever. Take his points. You gotta lock down Griffin a lot, and Mark Williams too. If they can stay under 20 points, at least one of them, or I actually, if you hold both of them to under 20 points, you can win the game.
Yeah.
So hopefully it happens. Hopefully it works, and it's gonna be great. No matter what, they're gonna be two great games, and I'm excited to watch both.
Yep. Yeah.
So.
And that's like we dealt with this weekend was pretty poopy. To be honest, like the only close game was the Nova game, and like I said earlier, that was not a fun game to watch. Hopefully we kind of made a sacrifice there in order to get some epic Final Four games.
And I think we did, because this has been a great tournament so far. We've had a lot of great games. So you sacrifice one weekend where you have to watch St. Peter's get destroyed and stuff like that. But it is what it is, and this is March.
This is March. We sleep in May.
So, do we want to talk about things we love to see? All right.
March.
March is definitely number one. But do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
You can go first. I'm curious as to how these lists will even look.
All right. Number one.
Take the first
number one things we love to see is the parlay hit. We love to see the parlay hit, baby. No matter what any type of parlay. My meaty one, if you have been mine today, the Knicks completely, and the Knicks and the Celtics completely blew it. But everything else hit, just the Knicks and the Celtics. But especially when you're me and you do $5 to win 400 and they hit, it's very exciting.
Yeah, parlays are addicting because if you hit one, it's like, and you can convince yourself that every leg will hit, and you're just like, well, why wouldn't they?
Yeah. Well, and it's like
it's all right there.
Also, it's when you hit one, it's like, I can do this every night. Every single night there's games.
Yeah, and it's like, if I do 20 parlays, then I'm even if I lose them all, then I'm only even.
All I gotta do is win one. So the parlay hitting, it's what we love to see.
All right, I like that pick a lot.
Thank you.
Decide which one should be my first one. All right, I'm just gonna go with this one. Things we love to see is the first gathering back with all your buddies after it's been either from college and it's back with all the high school guys, or it's like the first weekend at college when you've been home for the summer all weekend. That is something that I love to see.
It's going to be interesting now with the whole summer aspect now that I'm in a fraternity when I come back, because it's going to be it's 70 people that are like, wow, like we're all back together. So
yeah, that first event.
The first event is gonna be nuts. Even like the first like chapter meeting, it's like everyone's back, like laughing, making jokes and shit. So yes, you're right. That is what we love to see. And like every time you come home from any break, always text who's home, and you'd love to see the people who respond. Love to see
the boys buzzing.
Yeah. Yes. Always. All right. Number 2, things we love to see. You wake up in the morning, get the email that says class is canceled. Things we love to see.
I have not seen that enough.
I have
very rarely that it happens.
What was nice is when coronavirus was around, and they would be like, they'd be like, sorry, no class this week. Someone got exposed or whatever, and
you love to see your professor gets COVID and then you don't have class.
hey, as long as they're in perfectly good health, that's all we love to see. But, look, and I wrote out like snow days, but now it's all under one category.
Just lump them all together.
Yeah, lump them all together. Anytime class is canceled. Love to see it.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Thank you.
My number 2 is a full sellout crowd at a big game, especially if it's like been a while. Like I'm at like the first NHL playoffs games when they started lifting restrictions. Love to see that. There was a Phillies game this summer where they were playing Mets for first place in the division that I got to go to, and it was like the first time I'd seen it sold out in years. It's just like, yes, like this. This is why we do it.
Sellout crowd's the way to go. That's a great pick. And especially talking about coronavirus, when this whole thing happened, the second remember you were marking down the days when she can go to games again. So
yeah,
it is something we love to see is a packed crowd. So all right, what you love to see is when you go up to your dad and you ask him, hey, can I hang out with the boys or whatever, do this or whatever, and he goes, I don't care, ask your mother. Things you love to see, because then you walk up, walk up to your mom. Dad said yes. Dad said yes. What you got? What you got, Mom? Dad said he doesn't care. It's what's even better. Let me add on. What's even better, things you love to see even more, is when you go, hey, Mom, can I do this? I don't care. Ask your dad. Looks like it's a go. We're good to go. Dad doesn't care. Mom doesn't care. Good to go. Wrap it up.
I don't know how you thought of that one, but yeah, that's a good pick.
Things you love to see, man. Oh, man.
All right, I'm gonna go completely opposite route, one that's more emotionally stimulating. When at a game or something, when someone from the military comes back and their family's just hanging out,
yeah.
and they're like, oh, there he is, and he comes out of the tunnel.
Or the kids are standing in the middle.
Yes.
The kids are standing in the middle of the field. They're like, oh, what's going? The little kids what's going on? And they see a video. It's oh, Daddy, and he runs out, and everyone's like, yeah, things you love to see. That's definitely things you love to see. All right, next one. This I saw. I had to make it my list because I was walking home from class, and this guy just comes out. He looks at his car and goes, woo! Starts to dance around and goes, no ticket. I said it, sir. I went, sir, it must be a good day. And he said, God bless. Yes, sir. So I saw the man dancing in the street because he loved to see that he didn't get a ticket.
See, that would never happen at this school because there are parking Nazis that drive around.
Oh, really?
The most minor parking infraction to slap a $40 ticket on your car any chance they can get.
That's the word. The best.
It's someone gets paid to do that, to drive around.
Oh, and write them and everything too.
Not allowed there. Boom,
yeah.
$45 down the drain.
Yeah, it's such an you couldn't pay me enough to be a parking meter. That'd be awful. Or not a parking meter, but a parking whatever. And
Nazi.
Yeah, parking Nazi. The best is when you are expecting a ticket. You're like, oh, man, I'm definitely getting
really
a ticket.
even making that one more broad, any situation where you expect to have some sort of negative consequence and then it doesn't come.
Yeah.
Big moment.
Yeah, when you beat the odds, when every time you got the whenever you beat karma or whatever. Yeah. Things we love to see. That's a great. All right, you're up.
All right.
You're number 4.
My next one is when you have a really young guy or a rookie on your team and they're just absolutely balling out and you're just yes, this is the future.
Yeah.
And it's maybe my team's not good right now, but I have that hope and I watch this guy play every single night.
That singular guy. That's all you need. And it changes the whole fan base once you get that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get that guy that you can say it could be year 4 and you'd be like, hey man, he's still young. We still got time with him. We can still build around him. And if it's basketball it really is something special.
Basketball is the biggest one.
Either basketball or a quarterback.
One guy has.
Yeah.
No, a quarterback is number 1 for sure.
Yep.
Or even if it's during the off season or the preseason, and you're just wow, look at him go. He's gonna be special.
Yeah. That could also, you could say, if anyone transfers to your school. If any single person transfers to your school, it's the same. It's
or the high school recruits.
Yes, yeah, it's the
things
same.
you love to see land in a 5-star.
Yep.
Oh, this guy's gonna change our program.
That's straight electricity just being pumped into your veins right there. All right, number 5. This one is for my. I gotta stay the homers. The Gamecocks back at home. When Shane Beamer does anything, he could stand. He could walk into my room right now. I'd give him a standing ovation. I swear to God, that he could sneeze.
Start kissing his feet.
Yeah, he could sneeze. I'd be like, "You need a tissue? You need a tissue, Shane?" I would die for that king. And just him,
He
like,
hasn't even won anything yet.
I don't care. That's the thing. He just, like, he was at, like, our cock hockey game, which is a club team. It's not even associated. Like, it's technically associated with the school, but it's a club team. And he, like, dropped the puck, and I was like, this guy's electric! Like, let's go! He's always saying the right stuff. He's just got that demeanor to him that I'm just always there for. So, things I'd love to see, just Shane Beamer. Do anything!
So that's how Gary Williams is here. But he's our old coach.
No.
He was the coach who brought us our national title. So anytime, like, sometimes he'll just show up at the game and, like, he'll be sitting courtside or whatever, and they'll just throw him up on the screen, and everyone just goes nuts.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, Gary's in the house.
Yeah.
People start chanting Gary. And then they did something to honor the national championship team, and he gave, like, a 30-second little speech, and it was like, oh, Gary's the best. Like, we love Gary. His word is law around here.
Yeah.
Like, if there was a situation where he was like, Ireland should have hired this guy, we would have been like, fire Willard right now. The guy that Gary wanted. It's like, Gary knows what people wanted them to hire him.
They bring him back?
When they fired Turgeon, people were like, why don't we just bring Gary back as the interim head coach? I was like, why would Gary want to come back as the interim head coach? But yeah, people love him. I mean, I do too. It's not people, but
Things we love to see. Legendary coaches.
Gary. All right.
You're number
my
5.
Number 5. This is always the toughest one because I have a bunch that I don't know which one deserves to be in there. All right, I'm gonna go with this one. When you're watching a movie and, like, the character in the movie says the name of the movie.
He said it.
Like, yes, there it is.
The Family Guy.
I love it when that happens.
Yeah, the Family Guy sketch where he's doing it. That no, it's the best. Or they say, like, even if it's like a TV show and they, like, say any sort of callback you love to see. It's like, I remember that. Earlier. So,
like in Batman, when he says I'm Batman, you're just like, yep, that's why I watched the movie. I just want to hear him say Batman.
He said it. He said the word.
Yep.
That's a great pick. All right, honorable mention. I'm gonna combine these two because they're sort of the same thing, but I guess not really. But when you pack the one thing you thought you forgot, you're looking through the suitcase. You're like, oh, I definitely forgot this.
Good pick. Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I got my deodorant. We're good to go. Or when you think you lost something and then you found it. Or you found something that you lost. Either one. Those are things you love to see. Oh, you pick up something, man, I haven't seen this in years. All of a sudden. All right, and then my other honorable mention. Sorry, I only got one more. I'll let you nail down your 8 or whatever, how many you got. So, watching a good movie in the theaters. Those are things you love to see. So, yeah, things you love to see.
All right. This one I just thought of it and I can't even believe it didn't make my list, but my bed on a Friday afternoon is something that I just love to see.
The nap's calling your name.
I see it, like, here we go. Chicken tenders at the dining hall.
Oh, that's a great one.
Friday.
Yes, that's a great
Do you guys have, like, this thing with the chicken tenders where it's just not regular? It's like a special thing when the chicken tenders come.
So, it would be like Wednesdays Wednesdays for lunch. And that was the only time you could get chicken tenders at this one specific place. And then it would be at random. So we have, like, dining halls, and we also have, like, a student union that has like a Chick-fil-A and crap like that. So whenever, like, the one in the student union is selling chicken fingers or chicken tenders, they're gone immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's how ours are. It's like they start serving them at 11, and then they just serve them until they run out. So you have to time it. You're like, all right, well, today's got to be an early lunch.
Yeah, got to be an early lunch.
Got
to get here by at least 11:30, or else they're gone.
All right, let's see where I leave off. Sitting down with a bunch of TVs with a bunch of games on. To, like, 2 Thursdays ago, all the basketball on. Great day.
Love to see it.
I got 2 beach ones. First one is the sunrise over the ocean.
Love to see it.
It's a lovely sight.
Love to see it.
And a dive table on the beach.
Oh.
Another thing that you love to see.
That's great. That's a great one.
Let's see. I guess this is my last one. Fully charged devices. When you charge your phone to 100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a
There
good
it
one.
is. I don't have to worry about this.
I'm gonna add a couple more where there's a proper not filled trash can at a party. That's always a good thing. There's actually there's actual spots to put it.
Uh-huh.
And then you talk about the fully charged phone. The night or the long night before the wake up in the morning and you see that your phone is fully charged. That is something you love to see. You wake up in the morning, you go, "Oh, I remembered to plug it in last night. Thank God." Things you don't love to see is on a Saturday morning when your phone's in your pants pocket that's all the way in the closet over there. And that is not something I liked. I thought I was going to see. All right, I think that's...
wait, I left one off. When there's no line somewhere, whether it's a
yeah.
drive-through or a roller coaster, and you're like, there's no line. It's our lucky day.
Yeah, that's a great one. The other one would be you see like a new deal come out for like what they have right now is the Dave single for March is $1. Love to see that. Love to just see any sort of promotion where they give you something for $1. That's all.
If someone just sends you an email and they're like, "Hey, you can get this much off if you order this," I'm like,
I didn't even want it, but here I'm taking it. I'm taking it. Yeah, it's definitely things.
That's the college mindset. It's like, even if I don't want something, if I'm getting a deal, I feel obligated to just take it.
You know what I love about this top 5 is that we could definitely do another one. Top 5 things we love to see again. Yeah,
so many things we'd love to see.
There's always so much things you'd love to see. I think there's a couple ones that we can branch off this things you love to see that we can implement too. So
it's things we hate to see.
Things we hate to see. Things we didn't expect to see.
Things we'd like to see.
Things we'd like to see. Things
we wouldn't like to see.
Things we wonder why they're there.
Things we didn't expect to see.
Yeah, so there's definitely multiple
like 7 top 5s that we'll do this summer.
There you go. And also for anyone who's still listening at this point of the podcast, of course, thank you. And but we want to be more active on social media. We want to be more active on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. So, Chris, I think we should post the top 5 after not after the pod, but after tomorrow. I think we should post it on Instagram.
Yeah, it'll be up.
So I think that does it. We have a little college corner at the end. Do you got anything? I don't really have
It's our pro day. So good luck to the boys. Unless it was already today, then I hope they did well.
Nice.
And Kevin Willard has already started practicing, so
good stuff.
Road to the Natty has begun.
Good stuff. I guess the only thing I got to say is Lamont Paris, new head coach. Good luck to the man. Mike Green is transferring. I was the founding member of the Mike Green fan club.
I saw that on Twitter.
It's a sad day.
Beat up about that.
Yeah, it's all right though. We improve. If he wants to leave, he wants to leave. I can't help the guy. But that's looking forward. Road to the Natty. You're right. Coming up. So I have nothing for baseball. Our team blows. They can only beat good teams, and that's all.
Best start in school history for us.
Hey, good for you, Chris.
25. Yep.
I hope you guys make some noise.
I do too. I want to go to Omaha.
That'd be cool. That'd be really cool. All right. I think that does it for the pod. Thank everyone for listening. Don't make sure to follow us Instagram, Twitter @TheWiseGuysPod, and see you guys all on